Hey, welcome to Early Access Control Alpha Beta and Abandoned. What we're doing right now, we're going to take a look at Dragons of Legend, a game by Thrive Games that released in 2017 on Steam, but much earlier than that in the scope of Early Access. So back in 2014, this game hit the scene and showed up with a pretty strong social media campaign. It was interesting, it was kind of new and fresh, and it launched into a successful Kickstarter campaign that yours truly did back. Things seem promising. They're growing in size. They're doing regular updates and their progress. There was stuff seemed to really kind of be moving. And then there was a Microsoft agreement that added this game to Windows 10, and things look really promising. So normally all it takes is a successful Kickstarter to garnish a large community following, and it did that. It was a little bit slow getting to Steam Early Access, mind you, because when we did finally get our hands on it as Kickstarter backers, it was just a demo. It was really simple. There was nothing much to it. You could play one class. A little bit of the story was there. The abilities were like there was only a couple in the game, and that was pretty much it. So when it showed up on Steam, in a state that wasn't much further along than that, I know my perception was like, oh, well, what have you been doing for the last little bit? The thing is, you got to show some tolerance to projects, especially indie dev team, because things happen behind the scenes that you're not always privy to. It shows up on Steam, and it had it didn't have a rave review, primarily because it was fucking hard. Now, if you're familiar with Dragons of Legends at all, it starts off pretty easy. You get a story, you go and you follow a couple quests, you gain your abilities, you get your weapons, you get some gear, and then you head out to the wilderness and you expect to be able to kill something to progress. So lo and behold, somehow I've managed to reach a level 3, and I can't kill the simplest boar, let alone a wolf. But those are the first things that you meet, and if you can't kill a boar in an RPG, there's something terribly wrong. Like, that's the thing that you should be able to you look at and it should die, but not in Dragon of Legends, I should say. And so when when you're kind of met with this kind of frustration, the community is not going to respond well, especially on Steam. So this had been kind of something that internally, as a player of the demo and the Kickstarter version, people had actually expected them to kind of address, but it was all about, it's an action combat thing, so you got to use a certain amount of skill to make it happen. But there's certain systems at play that it didn't matter what kind of skill you had, it wasn't happening. And if people are going to test an RPG game, they need to be able to progress, and this was a multiplayer, let alone multiplayer never made it in there. But if you're going to progress in an RPG game, I like to see the story and to see the gear and to craft and do all those good things that make an RPG good. You gotta let us kill some boars. So it didn't happen. So I think a lot of the community kind of like were, I'll come back later and see when maybe it gets a little bit easier or things get a little bit fine tuned. And then the communication just kind of stopped. Whatever happened, whether it was mismanagement or people, the funding wasn't there, or something happened, the lead devs just kind of clammed up and got silent, and I have no idea what happened. I know a lot of people didn't, but I hung around the Discord channel for as long as I could, trying to stay positive, and it just didn't happen. So lo and behold, here we are. We're at another abandoned game that is still being sold on Steam for over $10, which is way too much, and with no devs in sight, and the word is the studio is no more. So this is certainly abandoned, and I just encourage you to maybe do some research, and if you have any insight to what exactly happens with Thrive Games or this title, please reach out to me. If you are a dev and you did work on this title, please reach out to me. I'd love to get some closure and get an idea of what exactly happened. But in the meantime, if you're a supporter of early access games, stay the F away of this, because you're just losing money. Hopefully you found this video helpful and the content interesting, and if it is, please like and subscribe and come back, because I'm going to make more videos on this exact topic, as well as the alpha and betas that deserve positive attention. And share the video, get the word out that this has been abandoned, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you around. Thanks a lot.